Greetings and salutations, and this is Tech Plays here with more Shadow Generations, and we are almost done with this, at least with this half of the Let's Play. We're almost done with the game, but we're doing the Sonic Generations half after this. And I actually have exciting news. I already have the next 3 Let's Plays all lined up. None of them have been recorded yet, but I have the games downloaded. This is the most planned ahead I've ever been for Let's Plays, so I'm kind of glad I just decided to backtrack and go back to Let's Plays because I have the enthusiasm again. I'm starting to think that every once in a while I just need to take a month-long break from them because that's when I get a bunch of enthusiasm back and I want to start doing them again and all that stuff. So going forward, I'll never really try streaming again. I might stream every once in a while, one-offs and stuff, but no, I'm the type of person who fits a Let's Play more. I'm better at commentating over Let's Plays. I'm better at gaming during Let's Plays. I feel like I game better when I can record the gameplay without commentating and they can just commentate over it after the fact. And I like that better. It also adds more quality to it because the gameplay's better, my commentary's better, all that stuff. And on top of that, I'm not always going to be available to stream. Here's the thing. With Let's Plays, I can, set them to premiere exactly when they're supposed to go up, but can record them, days to weeks in advance. I can record them whenever I want, as long as they're recorded before they have to go up. So, if I get sick or something, I can have, Let's Plays recorded in advance and just upload them. If I have, a hurt hand or something, same thing. That's what's so great about it. But when I was streaming, literally right after I streamed, first I got a hurt hand, then I got a bad cold, and it was just one thing after another that was keeping me from streaming. Hell, one of my streams suffered a lot because I decided to stream while I had a cold. And watching that stream back, I was yeah, my commentary here sucks. It sounds like I needed to not do that stream, and I was just okay, yeah, I definitely just need to stick to Let's Plays because I'm not always going to be able to stream when I need to, and I'd rather keep a consistent schedule than stream. Especially since I enjoy doing Let's Plays more, which the only reason I was doing streaming was because recent events had me going, okay, I need to change a bunch of stuff in my life, which in some aspects were true, but in others weren't. I kind of went overboard. I didn't need to start streaming. That was one of the things I didn't need to change. Let's Plays made me happy. I don't know why I was okay, let's just stream now. I think I already mentioned it. I had, an event happen with, a former friend of mine recently. I don't know if I ever went into too much detail. I know for a fact I've never named the friend by name. And that's out of respect for the person. Even though I have no respect for the person anymore, I'd still rather, not cause public bullshit on the internet with them because I'm that's just gonna cause consequences for me. And I'm no, I shouldn't have to deal with consequences for talking about something that happened. So I'd rather talk about it without, naming them. Because I don't want to cause consequences for myself by naming them. And for all I know, I could be being paranoid there, I could name drop them and then nothing happened, but I'm also just not the type of person to call out people by name like that. If I'm gonna call somebody out, and it's not because I don't want them to know I'm calling them out. Usually, if I'm calling somebody out, I expect them to know who they are and to know that I'm doing it. But I leave them nameless because, I don't want other people, the main thing is I don't want other people finding this person and attacking them online or anything on my behalf. That's not the environment I want to create. So I'm that's the main reason. I know my channel's not big enough for that to really be too much of a consequence at the moment, but you never know. I don't want other people, going to attack this person on my behalf, because I'm too good of a person to let that happen. Even though this person really hurt me, really made me upset, really, fucked with me, to the point where I was a mental mess for nearly 2 damn months. And if that person's watching this video, I really hope they know exactly what they did and that they regret it. Because, like, here's the thing. I don't want anything bad to happen to them, but I do want them to regret what they did. They at least deserve to feel guilty. Like, that's what they, like, not to be guilt-tripped, but to just feel guilty. Because I'm somebody who hates guilt-tripping. I really do. I hate guilt-tripping. That's why I'm not going, like, oh, you're such a horrible person, you should feel bad for this. Instead, I'm going, I hope they feel bad for this. Because I'm not going to make them feel bad for it. I'm not going to guilt-trip them or anything like that, because I know what it's like to be guilt-tripped. I've been guilt-tripped in situations where I should feel guilty, and situations where I didn't do shit. There are situations where I literally just sat there and didn't do anything. And then somebody tries to guilt trip me for not, like, stepping in on something, even though the something in question I would have stepped in on is something that would have harmed me and possibly others around if I had stepped in. So it's just better to, like, let it happen so it doesn't hurt more people. So it's like, and I'm not talking about, like, you know, not doing anything about anything, like, super horrible. I'm talking about, like, shit like arguments and stuff. There are times where I've been guilt-tripped for not, like, helping someone in an argument, but the argument in question was just between two people to begin with. I don't deserve to be dragged into that, first of all. And second of all, there are times where, like, there's other people in the room that I don't want to make it worse for, and me joining in would just make it worse for those other people. Especially because if I join in, who's to say they aren't dragged into it? Like, you know, like, I gotta consider how other people feel. I gotta consider, like, also what's good for my mental health. I can't argue with people. I can debate with people just fine. I can disagree with people, have a civil conversation. Like, here's the thing. If you ever see me, like, talking, like, with a lot of passion and stuff in a conversation with someone, disagreeing with them, don't assume I'm angry, don't assume I'm arguing, because I don't have the mental state to be arguing. Like, I haven't been able to argue for years now. Like, I think the last time I was able to argue without breaking down over it was, like, in 2018. Like, I actively dodge arguing, and the only time I take part in, like, anything close to it is if I know it's just a debate, or in my mind, I'm just treating it like a debate or a disagreement. Like, on my end, it's never an argument, and if it turns into one, I'm backing out, because I can't mentally handle arguments. And it's not about, like, oh, it's because I'll lose the argument or anything like that. No, it has a lot to do with, like, how I feel afterwards, because it doesn't matter if I win the argument or lose the argument. I feel like a shitty person afterwards, always. Even if I was right in the argument, I still feel like a shitty person, because I just made somebody's day worse just because I disagreed with them. And I'm like, I don't want that. And yeah, like, there are situations where the other person starts the argument, and most of the time, that's usually what it was that I was dragged into. Like, before I, like, actively dodged arguments, most arguments I got in, I was dragged into either as a third party, or because somebody was disagreeing with me and they couldn't just leave it as a debate or disagreement. They had to turn it into an argument. And, like, a lot of times when that happens, I don't really feel bad for arguing with them. I more so just feel, like, mentally drained. So then I'm miserable for the rest of the day because I have no mental energy. I'm just laying, like, I don't feel like doing anything. That's what arguing does to me. It drains all my mental energy, and it basically makes me feel like doing nothing. Sometimes it can even cause a depressive episode for me. Like, I don't know if that's actually what they're called, but, like, it's basically, like, moments where my depression is triggered really badly. Arguments are, like, the fastest way for my depression to be triggered, and I don't like it. Again, it's not just, like, me losing arguments, it's just me participating in them. The argument could end in a stalemate, it could end in me winning, it doesn't matter. Me participating in them makes me feel horrible one way or another, depending on, like, what the results are. Like, if I started the argument, then like I feel like a horrible person for ruining somebody's day. If I was dragged into it, then I just feel horrible because I have no energy. And I don't feel like doing anything. And I'm a person that likes doing stuff, so when I have no energy, I feel really depressed and miserable because not doing anything makes me that way. It does. Like, I have to do stuff like every moment I'm awake, I have to be doing something or I'm miserable. Even if that something's just sitting there thinking, my mind has to be active. Because if it's not, I start feeling depressed. And I don't know why I'm that way. I haven't seen like a psychiatrist in a long time. I really do need to see one. So I don't know why I'm that way, but like, that's just the way I am. Like, I start feeling depressed if I'm not doing anything. My mind has to be active in some way. That's why I do so much shit. If you like realize all the shit I do, like just on my channel alone, I play video games. I record commentary for video games. I edit the videos. I edit intros. I record music, make my own beats, and write my own lyrics for music. Not even outside of my channel, I'm trying to get into voice acting. I've done like 40 different voice auditions for online voice acting projects in the last week. I am actively trying to get casted for voice acting roles now, which before I was trying like just here and there, but like after so many times of just not getting a role, I'm just like going all in now. And then on top of all that, I do digital art. I draw digital art. Like, the amount of shit I do. And that's just shit I do in my free time. That's shit I do in my free time. Like, the amount of shit I do and get done is because it's what makes me happy. If I'm not doing this shit, whenever I have free time and I can't talk to others during that free time, I have to have these things to help me. Oh, important cutscene.
I found you, Shadow!
The blue hedgehog, of all places.
You have something I need.
You can wait until my business is finished.
Yeah, sorry, but that Chaos Emerald and I have a date with a monster.
Well then, it'll be a date to die for.
Nice hustle, but I won this one. So I'm taking the emerald. See ya!
I finally find you, and what do I see? Sonic defeating you. What happened?
I will beat him on equal terms, or not at all.
A fine time for you to be honorable. Now he has the Chaos Emerald.
No, he has a fake emerald. I'll have you swap it for the real thing after I'm finished with my mission.
Wow, look at you. As a professional jewel thief, I approve.
Okay, so I didn't realize I ended up rambling for the entirety of the Chaos Island part of this video, because like I feel bad for that now, because I had some stuff to say about Chaos Island, and I was not expecting that ramble to go on that long. So some things I want to say about Chaos Island. I really love what they did within this game. It's probably my third favorite stage after Kingdom Valley and Rail Canyon. And I know a lot of people praise Sunset Heights here, but I feel like people only do that because of the comparison to how it was in Forces. I feel like it was so bad in Forces that the only reason it gets so much praise in this game is because it's not as bad as Forces. Whereas like every other stage here was at least decent in the game they originate from. Whereas Sunset Heights was just the worst. And I feel like that's the whole reason it gets as much praise as it does. Because here's the thing. I'll admit, Sunset Heights is a really good stage in this game. However, that could be said for every stage in Shadow Generations. And this might be a hot take, but Sunset Heights is my second least favorite stage in this game. Not counting the Sonic Generation stages, because I have no idea how to rank those with the Shadow Generation stages. Because I feel like they're... Like, I really don't, because I don't know which game I like more. Well, okay, I obviously like Shadow Generations more because the bosses are way better, and I like Rail Canyon and Kingdom Valley more than any stage in Sonic Generations. But in terms of ranking the other 4 stages in this game, it's hard to compare them to Sonic Generations. Because I don't know where I'd place them alongside those stages. I know Kingdom Valley and Rail Canyon would be above them, but the rest I'm kind of like mixed on, because Chaos Island is my third favorite. But I don't know if I'd put that, like... I know I would at least put, like, Chemical Plant above it. And maybe... I think I'd put Chemical Plant and City Escape above it. But outside of those two, I'm, like, really mixed on it. I'm, like, I don't know, like... what else goes above Chaos Island. I don't know what goes like between the other ones. And I think I've already said it before, but if you want to know my rankings with the stages in this game, and this actually changed since the last time I said it, I actually do like Kingdom Valley more than Rail Canyon now, after like playing both a bunch of times. Kingdom Valley just has more replay value, so it like just about beats Rail Canyon. But it goes Kingdom Valley, Rail Canyon, Chaos Island, Radical Highway, Sunset Heights, Space Colony Arc. And I know it might be I don't know if it's a hot take. Like, I feel like it is a hot take because I feel like people would rank Space Colony Arc really high. But that's just me assuming. That stage isn't as talked about as other stages in this game. So I have no idea where people actually rank it. But my personal ranking for it's at the very bottom, and it's not like it's a bad stage or anything. In fact, I would at least put it above like 2 or 3 of Generation stages. I think I'd most definitely put it above like Planet Wisp. Most definitely. I'd put it above Planet Wisp for sure. Planet Wisp in Sonic Generations just sucks. I love Planet Wisp in Colors, but in Generations it just sucks. It really does. And like, I have a similar like opinion. I might get hate for this, but I have a similar opinion on Seaside Hill. I love the Seaside Hill challenges. I love the music for it. I love, like, as my favorite Sonic character. Well, my second favorite Sonic. Is he? I go back and forth on it. He's either my second or third favorite, because my first favorite is always Blaze. And then my second goes back and forth between Vector and SPO. Like, sometimes it's Vector, sometimes it's SPO. But anyway, one of my top 3 favorite Sonic characters is saved on that stage. So it's like, I have a lot of love for Seaside Hill, but actually playing it, not so. It's the modern stage. I'll be completely honest here. I actually do like this might be a hot take. Don't know if it is. I'm going to say that a lot this video because I'm not sure what people's stance on classic Seaside Hill is, because again, I have not heard that many opinions on it. But I actually love classic Seaside Hill, and I don't care much for the modern one, which is one of the few stages in Sonic Generations I feel that way about, because most stages I prefer the modern stage. But when it comes to Seaside Hill and I want to say Seaside Hill and Planet Wisp, I enjoy the classic version more. And that's just because, in my honest opinion, the modern versions of those stages are just annoying. For different reasons. Seaside Hill just has like a couple moments that I just hate in the modern stage. And I feel like the original Seaside Hill and Ocean Palace from Sonic Heroes did it better.
No!
Oh. And then, like, so it's not really that many reasons with Seaside Hill that I prefer the classic stage more. It's just like a couple things. Like, I don't think modern Seaside Hill is bad. Like, I know it might have sounded that way before because I was pairing it with Planet Wisp and Modern Planet Wisp. I just fucking hate. Yeah, Modern Planet Wisp is the one stage in, actually no. Modern Planet Wisp and Classic Rooftop Run. Hate them. I really hate them. I really do. Like, and with Rooftop Run, actually with both of them, it has a lot to do with how long the stages feel like they drag on. And like, I like longer Sonic stages. I really do. Like, that, I like how long the Shadow Generation stages are. The shortest stage in Shadow Generations on your first run, unless you're like a Sonic Pro who like just gets S rank first run, the shortest stage you're gonna have on the first run is probably like 3 minutes and 50 seconds, which is good. That should be the shortest a Sonic stage should be if you're not getting S rank. Looking at you, Forces. And yeah, I know there were short cyberspace stages, and I'm sorry if you hear sirens in the background. I have no idea what's going on, but there's a bunch of sirens in my background. But yeah, I know Frontiers had like the short cyberspace stages too, but in Frontiers I can forgive it because there was a bunch of game between the cyberspace stages. Whereas with Forces, the whole game was those short-ass brain-dead stages that had no game design. Actually, no, there was game design. There was a game design in like 2 stages near the end game that sucked. I particularly remember there being a classic Sonic stage near the end of the game that had like a lot of obstacles and stuff to dodge and all that. But since classic Sonic controls like shit in Forces, they just suck. And I'm gonna tell you now, I actually played Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Well, I didn't play through the whole game. I played Sonic 3 and Knuckles and Sonic Mania both after like I finished like Sonic Generations again for this Let's Play. And if I'm being quite honest, I never noticed how different the like classic Sonic controls are until I play the games back to back. Because 2 things that throw me off. One thing that throws me off in Generations, because like when I came back to play like Generations, when I first streamed it before I decided, okay, instead of streaming, we're just gonna play the game. When I was just streaming it, the first thing that threw me off was that classic Sonic's momentum was a bit slower, and I wasn't used to that. I really wasn't, so like there were parts of the game where like I had to spin dash, where like if I was playing a classic game I wouldn't have to. And that was really the only like key difference I noticed when playing Generations, because it had been like a year since I played 3 and Knuckles before then. But then going back to 3 and Knuckles and Mania after Generations, like I only played a few stages from both, but I just felt like playing a bit of both of them. Mainly to compare them again, because like, I'm of the belief that 3 and Knuckles is better than Mania, and after replaying them again, I still stand by that. Because 3 and Knuckles has the kind of challenge that's more fun, whereas Mania has a lot of challenge that makes me want to put down the game until later. And it's not like, oh, Mania's a harder game, that's why. No. It's a case of, it's less annoying to start back. If I remember correctly, you have to start back at Act 1 for both games. whenever you like die on a stage, you have to start back at the start of Act 1, no matter what. In Sonic 3 and Knuckles, it's way less annoying to get back to where you were. You could be at the boss of Act 2 for either game, and it's going to be less annoying in 3 and Knuckles to get back to that boss than it is in Mania. I'm telling you. And remember when I said I actually enjoy longer Sonic stages? This is where that exception comes up. I enjoy longer Sonic stages for modern Sonic, for like boost formula and the adventure formula and all that stuff. I'm fine with stages being anywhere from like 3 minutes to 10 minutes for those gameplay styles, as long as it doesn't feel like it drags on. I'm fine with those gameplay styles having levels that long, but with the classic formula, man. My main issue with Mania, and the main thing that kills like my enthusiasm for it every time I go back to it, is that dying at the Act 2 boss in Mania sets you back 20 minutes of gameplay for a lot of the late game stages, or I guess I should be calling them zones. It sets you back up to 20 minutes of gameplay for the later zones in the game. Specifically, I'm talking about Lava Reef. I'm talking about... Well, here's the thing. I didn't die on the Act 2 boss of Lava Reef. It's actually way too easy in Mania. That's another thing I like about 3 and Knuckles better, is that the boss is actually hard. Yeah, Mania, I'm just saying, you got rid of one of, like, literally the best designed section in classic Sonic history. And I'm not talking about, like, the actual boss part. I'm talking about the part leading up to the boss. Super hard, super fun to conquer. You've literally... They got rid of that for a fucking roller coaster thing. And I'm like, fam, you could have at least kept, like, the section leading up and just have the roller coaster at the end. No, you can't do that. Oh, I think this is the point where I realized I was missing, It's at Kingdom Valley, isn't it? I'm seeing 2 of them hop over there. Yep. Something I like about this map is it's so easy to follow. Like, there was... Okay, for the first 2 islands of Frontiers and the last island, that's not really a problem. But something I had a problem with the Chaos Island of Frontiers is that it felt easy to lose where you were. Which is why, like, for my Let's Play, I cut out most of it, but for my Let's Play, I had, like, maybe an hour or 2 of footage of me just roaming around trying to find where I was supposed to go. Because Chaos Island is so weird. It's so weirdly designed. But yeah, now we should have all the keys, so let's try to go face this boss. But yeah, as I was saying, like, the thing I don't like about Mania is that it can set you back. There was one point, I think I was set back like 22 minutes of gameplay. I think it was on, it might have, I don't know if it was, I think it was Oil Ocean. I think it's specifically Oil Ocean. I got sent back like 22 minutes of gameplay. I know because at first I was trying to record the gameplay for Mania until I decided to give up on it. I got to like, Metallic Madness, and then I was like, you know what, we're gonna do this Let's Play another day, because like Metallic Madness itself isn't that hard, but the few stages leading up to it, I just had so much like time wasted because of how much you have to... For context, zones in Mania in the late game can take up to 10 minutes long. By comparison, like, I don't think there was... I think there was maybe 1 or 2 zones. There was maybe 1 or 2 acts in my Sonic 3 and Knuckles Let's Play where, like, it took me 10 minutes. Like, 1 or 2 acts in the whole game. And they were usually the Act 1, I want to say. And on top of that, like, I feel like a lot of like the difficulty in 3 and Knuckles is like the kind of stuff that once you conquer it once, you have the muscle memory to keep doing it. But then in Mania, there's some shit that can kill you even if you perfectly crossed it the first time around. Like, there's some actual bullshittery there. There's stuff in Mania that killed me when I went past it perfectly fine the first 5 times. Not even joking. Don't think I ever had that problem in 3 and Knuckles. But yeah, we're done with that rambling. Let's talk about Mephiles the Dart. Probably the last Sonic character I thought well, no, second to last Sonic character I'd ever thought I'd see brought back. The one I least expect to ever see brought back. I see so many people like in YouTube comments and stuff on other videos and stuff being like, they should bring back Infinite. Infinite has so much potential. Like, he has so much potential to be cool and stuff. And I'm like, I don't care what they do with Infinite. His backstory is set in stone, fam. His backstory is just him choosing to like become this powerful evil dude because he was called weak. I'm sorry, but the only way they could ever fix Infinite is if they retcon the entirety of Forces. And I don't think they're gonna do that. They would have to pretend Forces never happened, reintroduce him, new backstory and all, for him to ever be good. Like, he's not like Mephiles. Well, Mephiles was already a good villain. That's a bad example. He's not like Black Doom, who was just a slightly boring villain from a mid-game. I call it mid because there were some levels in Shadow that were really fun, but then there were also a bunch of terrible ones. So I'm like, I'm not one of those people that are like, it's horrible, it's one of the worst Sonic games. I'm more so, it's like, it's kind of mid. Because, like, if I could go back and play, like, some stages of Shadow the Hedgehog, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I love Lava Shelter. I love Black Comet. I love Westopolis. I love Digital Circuit. There are just, like, 5 or 6 stages in that game. I would love to go back and play it. At the drop of a dime, I would go play it if I had, like, a copy of it and a system to play it on. I would go play it. But then there's like also 6 or 7 stages I would never want to touch again. So it's like a very mid-game to me. If you want to know my opinion, the only Sonic games I would actually call horrible out of the ones I've actually played are 06, Forces, and Secret Rings. Sorry, I'm drinking a bit of soda. Like I said, I usually drink water for these videos. Lately, I've just been... The last couple times, I've just had soda. And it's not like I'm drinking soda all the time or anything like that. It's more so... For some reason... I have more energy when I have soda. So, like, on days I have soda, I'm more willing to commentate than on most days. Because most days I have, like, tea and water. But soda gives me, like, the energy for some reason. Like, it just gives me the energy to just go... I got some good ass Pepsi. Dude, it's been so long since I've had Pepsi. You have no idea. Like, I've literally cut down on soda so much, man. Like, it's not even funny. I think up until the last month, I had like a 2-liter soda like once a month. Up until like the last month. And then the last month, I've just had like 2 or 3. No, I think I've had 2. No, yeah, I've had 2 because I had like a grape soda from Walmart sometime last month, and then I had the Pepsi today. So yeah, 2. Pepsi's from Little Caesars. I had Little Caesars for lunch. Really good. Oh, going quiet.
Don't be frightened. Promised time is nigh upon us, Shadow. Soon, you will be mine.
Shadow will never serve you. He's nothing like you.
Gerald may have given him this unassuming form, but the blood of the Black Arms flows in his veins. He is a warrior. He destroys
Yes, the warrior that will destroy you.
I have learned from our last encounter. There will be no mistakes this time. Struggle all you want. You will be mine.
Professor, what do you think he means he learned from our last encounter?
I surmise you defeated him at some point in the future. He has grown a new body and used the nebulous nature of time in white space to accelerate his plans for revenge.
He's right. No more mistakes. This time, I will crush every last one of them.
Shadow, no!
Maria?
It breaks my heart to see you so full of anger. This isn't who you are. Do you know why I named you Shadow? Because without light, there's only darkness. But a shadow will show you where to find the light. Do you understand? I don't want you to be driven by darkness. I want you to be happy. Stand in the light with peace in your heart.
We're about to end it off here. I'm sorry I didn't really get to say much about Mephiles. I just kind of got distracted. I might talk about him a bit more in the next video. Not sure yet, because the next video is going to be a lot of plot stuff and a lot of important level stuff, so it might not. But we are going to end it off here, so bye!